This tutorial video is going to walk you through how to log postpartum encounters. Now, the first step is to find your patient. If you've logged their birth and BirthTracks, then you can find them under Births, My Practice is Births. Or if you have not logged their birth and you just want to add the patient and then log an encounter, then you would come here to Patients and then Add Patient. But we're going to select a patient from our births list. If needed, you could also search for the patient here. Now, once you select their name, it's going to open up the patient's chart. And you now have the side navigation here where you can toggle through the different types of information about your patient. The pregnancy tab is going to show information related to a current pregnancy. So since this patient has had a birth and not an active pregnancy, we don't see any pregnancy information here. The pregnancy information that was related to her last birth is now in this section here in the birth section. Up top here in the patient header, we have the patient's name, their age and date of birth, their obstetrical history, and then if they did had a current pregnancy, then you would also see their gestational age and their due date. Now to log an encounter, we're just going to click here, Add Encounter, and this is going to bring up the postpartum encounter form. Now in the future, we would really like to add additional types of encounters, such as prenatal encounters or GYN encounters, and we'd really like some feedback from you about what types of information you're interested in tracking. So we'd love if you could let us know what you're interested in. If you come down here and click on Contact Us, you can just send us a quick message about what you're interested in tracking. Now, this form, you'll just go through and click what's applicable to that encounter. So you can use these buttons to quickly add today's date, which will calculate your week since birth. If you want to calculate the duration too, you can utilize these buttons as a timer to select the start and end time of the encounter. You'll select where you had the encounter, the provider that delivered that encounter. You can also use this to track mileage, their vitals, and then in this section here, these needs, you'll just comment what types of needs the patient had. So if they had any breastfeeding issues, what types of food issues they had, any safety issues, etc. And then lastly, what type of services did you provide during this encounter? Now, the great thing about BirthTracks is that you can completely customize these forms. So I would recommend the first time that you log in and look at this encounter form, that you go through and identify what types of information are important for you to track. And then if there are any fields that are not pertinent to your practice, then I recommend removing them, and then also just moving the fields around so it really works for your workflow. You can also add new fields too that are important to your practice. And you do that by coming here to Practice and then clicking Additional Fields to add a new field. And then the Sort Fields page here will allow you to move your fields around and also delete fields. We have additional tutorial videos on how to use these features, so please feel free to reference those videos for more information. Now, once you have completed the information on this form, you're going to select Submit here. And then this will bring you back to the patient's chart, and then it's now going to list the encounter that we just logged along with how many weeks postpartum. Now in this case, we logged 2 encounters on the same day, which was also on the same day that the patient had the delivery, so that's why it's just showing 0 weeks postpartum. There is no limit to the amount of encounters that you can log. So once you start logging them, they will just continue to list down below here. And then if you ever wanted to export those visits to a spreadsheet where you have all that information in one place, you can also do that here.